AI doesn't replace expertise today. It raises the bar for what counts as expertise. The honest answer is that I did not leave because I was unhappy. I left because I think I saw a better vehicle for the impact that I really wanted. The pull has always been the breadth of real problems. It's wherever the real problems are. These models have been trained on text, on internet data, on images and videos that you can publicly find. The physical world is a little bit different. In case of physical AI, we need to learn from sensor data, from simulation. We need to understand the laws of physics. The outputs control real things in the real world. Imagine you have a model that just doesn't predict when a turbine will fail, but also needs to understand why it is failing. So we need models that can reason about the physical world the way language models reason about language. And the consequence, right? So if a consumer chatbot gives you a bad answer, you could just reprompt or you could regenerate. In case a physical system or AI system involved that gives you a bad decision on a factory floor, you can't really undo it. So the margin of error is very different. One of the more successful projects at least at Amazon, it's a public source, which is automated machine learning. This evolved into foundation models for tables and foundation model for time series. They're called as Mitra and Chronos. And Chronos has about, I want to say, 600 million downloads. Call it evaluation theater. We say these foundation models on these public benchmarks perform this well. I think the next question is, given my specific task, we set up a benchmark. And for that benchmark, how do these models perform out of the box? And that really tells you what the differences are. There's some opportunity here now to do what is called personalized pacing. Students will be met where they are instead of what the syllabus says they should be. But I think where it falls short or anything that requires mentorship. Sometimes you talk to the student one-on-one and then you realize they're missing the 3 classes because they're working 2 jobs and not because they're disengaged. And I don't think an AI model without that data can really understand that. So if AI tutoring works best for students who already have broadband and quiet study spaces, you are just widening the gap, and we can call it innovation. We need people who can translate between domains. You have to talk to the product manager, you have to talk to the engineering teams, you have to talk to the customer, you have to hold all the thread together. Sometimes the university might index on methods courses and under index on systems thinking, deployment, failure analysis. So students will learn how to build a model, but they don't know how to put it in production. So my one constructive suggestion would be that have many capstone projects with real stakes, have exposure to real data, have unclear objectives because nobody tells you what the machine learning problem is. You got to figure that out by talking to all these stakeholders. And this should not be an elective, this should be a core curriculum. For most working adults, the combination skill or the skill is that it's AI literacy with domain expertise. So I think we hear a lot about language models and radiologists, right? But the radiologist who understands how to use the large language models or the foundation models, I believe can do a much more valuable work. And practically, I think what that means is that you need to learn how to specify the problems clearly, because the foundation models or the AI models are only as good as the question you give it. We can't trust them, so we need to learn to evaluate the outputs very critically, because we know that AI is confident even when it's wrong. And we need to learn when it breaks, because that's where the human judgment is irreplaceable. You don't need to train the models yourself. Just be curious. Use AI to learn about AI. Try it. See where it works, where it doesn't. And I also think that barrier to entry has never been lower. It's the barrier to understanding what you're doing is still high. And I think that's where the investment will pay off. People who transition well are always willing to reframe themselves. So I guess at the expense of sounding like a broken record, I would just say that AI doesn't replace expertise today. It raises the bar for what counts as expertise. So the people who thrive are the ones who are always curious. They keep redefining what they know. And I hope you take that away from this talk.
Nexford University. Choose the smarter way.